Welcome to Supernatural Signals, where the screen meets the spirits. The mystery began in August of 1971 in a quiet village in southern Spain. María Gómez Cámara was going about her normal routine when she noticed something strange on her kitchen floor, an image forming in the concrete. At first, it looked like a stain, but as the days passed, the shape grew clearer until it resembled a human face. Her husband and son tried to remove it, even digging up the floor and laying new concrete. But soon after, another face appeared, then another. Dozens of faces, some distorted, some solemn, others appearing to scream, began emerging from the very floors and walls of their home. The phenomenon would continue for decades, drawing scientists, skeptics, psychics, and journalists from around the world. Now let's discuss theories, because the Bélmez case has sparked everything from scientific investigations to wild paranormal speculation. One of the most common explanations is pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar patterns, especially faces, in random objects. According to this theory, the stains and discolorations on the floor were just random marks that people wanted to believe were faces. The more attention the story got, the more faces people began to find. Then there's the chemical hoax theory. Some skeptics claim the faces were painted or altered using substances like oxidizing agents that could create discoloration over time, almost like a slow reveal. Investigations found no clear evidence of forgery, but the possibility still lingers. Now, let's get into some of the supernatural theories. Because parapsychologists had a different angle. They suggested that the faces could be a result of photography, a psychic phenomenon where intense emotional energy can imprint images onto surfaces. Since Maria Gómez Cámara, the woman who lived in the house, had experienced deep emotional distress, some people believe her subconscious somehow projected these faces into the stone. The mystery only deepened when parapsychologists and researchers visited the site. Many considered the phenomenon authentic and cataloged it as one of the most compelling unexplained cases in Spain. Some investigators claim to have recorded eerie psychophonies, unexplained voices captured on tape, during their time in the house. Here is an audio clip from one of those instances. Then, during an excavation beneath the kitchen, human remains were reportedly discovered, including skulls and partial skeletons. Hoping to put an end to the phenomenon, the area was sealed with a fresh layer of concrete. But just 2 weeks later, new faces began to emerge, different from the first, as if something or someone still wanted to be seen. With the findings from the excavation, a more spiritual theory emerges. The house was built on or near an old burial ground, and the faces are manifestations or disturbed spirits, trying to communicate or reach peace. The location's long and layered history, especially involving conflicts like the Spanish Civil War, feeds this idea. And of course, there's always the theory that the whole thing was a clever hoax. Maybe started for attention or even unintentionally fueled by the media frenzy once people got involved. With that said, let's get into some of my personal thoughts and conclusion about this topic. I spent some time weighing the evidence, and here's where I land. I do believe the original faces that appeared while Maria Gómez Cámara was alive were genuine and not a deliberate hoax. Maria was regarded by many as having psychic abilities, and those first impressions seemed to carry an intentional, almost pleading quality. That said, you should keep in mind that after Maria passed, new faces did reemerge. Only this time, the consensus is that it was likely a hoax, fueled by the house's eerie reputation and opportunists looking to revive the story, even from her family. I also find the pareidolia theory fascinating. During my own influxes of paranormal activity, I'd start seeing faces in the oddest places: shadows in the bathroom mirror, patterns in wall sockets, sticks and branches forming profiles. It always seemed to happen when a spirit wanted to tell me something or teach me something, much like the tapping and knocking I experienced in my mimic encounter, which I'll link below. We often hear that ghosts or spirits use physical phenomenon to reach us. But what if our brains seeing familiar shapes, faces, figures, forms? It's another form of communication. Almost like they nudge us repeatedly until we finally shout out, "What do you want?" But whatever you believe, the Faces of Bélmez reminds us that sometimes the line between what's real and what's imagined is thinner than what we think. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. If you've ever seen a face in a grain of dust or heard a mysterious knock when you weren't expecting it, drop your experience in the comments. I'd read every one. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned into the supernatural. Thanks for watching.